constituency. I am from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, Honorable colleagues, I move for call to save wildlife and plant species to improve conservation and tourism potential as the world marks the World Wildlife Day. The House notes that the Endangered Species Control of International Trade and Traffic Act, Cap E-9 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 provides for the conservation and management of Nigerians' wildlife and the protection of some of her endangered species that are facing the threat of extinction as a result of overexploitation as required under certain international treaties, for which Nigeria is signatory to. The House also notes that the National Parks Service Act establishes the National Park Service to be responsible for the preservation, enhancement, and protection of wild animals and plants and other vegetation in national parks. The House is aware that protected areas, that is national parks, game reserves, forest reserves, biosphere reserves, game sanctuaries, and strict nature reserves were established in different locations within vast expanse of forest land, hills, rivers, and seas, where animals, plant species in their natural habitats are conserved and regulated for specific scientific, educative, and recreational benefits. The House is also aware that the poor and deplorable state of protected areas require urgent attention, considering the number of national parks, game reserves, forest reserves, biosphere reserves, game sanctuaries, and strict nature reserves across the country, and the huge government investments in the areas of staff, unemployment, and other ancillary services. The House is further aware that there has been large-scale destruction and mismanagement of the ecosystem in Nigeria, and ecological disasters and climate change, which have resulted in acute loss of soil fertility, and countless species of fauna and flora have gone into extinction, meaning that dozens of species are going extinct every single day. The House is worried that the world wild flora and fauna are endangered due to human activities, which include loss of habitat, industrialized farming, commercial development, and overgrazing, with protected areas becoming hideouts for bandits, kidnappers, insurgents, and other criminals. The House is also worried that wildlife destruction, loss of habitat are on the increase as a result of human activities, such that large mammals, aquatic life, and plant species are going into extinction due to lack of capacity, poaching, trekking in animal hides, tusk, technical know-how, and other bureaucratic bottlenecks to manage the sector. The House is cognizant that preservation of our ecosystem and the effective management of the sector will attract tourism, which will in turn generate huge reserves and revenues for Nigeria, if properly strengthened and funded. The House is also cognizant that the World Life Day is celebrated today, March 3rd, 2020, and every 3rd of March every year, and the day was set aside to draw attention to the urgent need to save the endangered species. And this year's theme is sustaining all life on Earth, which is a clarion call on government agencies, scientists, and all stakeholders to mobilize action to save the ecosystem. The House resolves to urge the Federal Ministry of Environment and its agencies to conduct an assessment of protected areas across the country for strengthening and proper funding. The House also urged the Federal Ministry of Environment to prepare short and long-term action plans to improve the sector and forward them to the House for consideration. The House also mandated the Committee on Environment to ensure implementation. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
I don't know, the motion seems to be very elaborate. If you want to give the synopsis, 2 minutes, then we'll put the question.
It is the World Wildlife Day. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, on 20th of December 2013, the United Nations General Assembly adopted 3rd March of every year to celebrate and raise awareness on the world's wild animals and plants to improve the environment and ecosystem. Mr. Speaker, this year's theme is sustaining all life. That is including the life of animals and plants. Of course, we know about green revolution. So it's a call for us as government to begin to look at the areas of our forest reserves, and particularly at this point where most of the forest reserves are used by bandits. Nigeria has 7 national parks, 30 game reserves, 4 game sanctuaries, 1 strict nature reserve, 1 biosphere reserve, and about 1,129 forest reserves. And Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, because we do not maintain these reserves, hoodlums have taken over those parks. In Abuja here, most of our national parks are used by prostitutes, by people who are taking drugs, by people who are using it as makeshift camp to organize crimes. And it may interest you to know that currently most of the locations like Sambisa Forest, Beningwari, and other forest reserves are used by insurgents as we speak. So that is why it is important that as we mark this day, that we should look at these places so that we begin to use them and utilize them for what purpose it is meant for, so that it will be fit for purpose. Once it is fit for purpose, hoodlums, insurgents will not be there. And Mr. Speaker, that is why, as we join the United Nations and all over all the countries of the world to say today is to sustain all lives, we should also be using it to look at how to change our environment so that our environment will be safe, instead of leaving what is supposed to be a tourist area, a reserved area where we use for our own good, for people to turn it to whatever they find it because it has been neglected. That's why, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I seek for support that we should join my voice with the voice of Nigerians to preserve and to celebrate this day. Thank you.